That leads us to our next inductee of the evening. And our next inductee is a distinguished inductee, Mr. Irving Dilliard. Irving Dilliard's life journey began in Collinsville, Illinois, the town he loved and cherished his entire life, in 1904. He graduated from Collinsville High School in 1923. His main career in the world of newspapers and journalism was with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. He was also a teacher, historian, and public servant, and a nationally recognized expert on the U.S. Constitution.
Well, my father always liked history. He was a newspaper man, that was his career, but he liked history, not just local history.
Dilliard worked for over 30 years at the Post-Dispatch, writing thousands of articles and editorials, and eventually serving as editor of the editorial page. In that capacity, he often focused on civil liberties and constitutional rights. One justice, William O. Douglas, said of Dilliard, he was the finest journalist to ever cover the U.S. Supreme Court. Dilliard retired from the newspaper in 1960. The next chapter of his life took him to Princeton University, where he taught writing for 10 years. World War II interrupted Dilliard's time at the Post. At the age of 39, he volunteered and served in England, France, and Germany, and then remained in Germany after the war, where he helped establish a non-Nazi press. While there, Dilliard also covered the Nuremberg trials. Dilliard was also an elected member of the University of Illinois Board of Trustees. He was named the first director of the Illinois Department on Aging, and he served on countless other boards and organizations. He helped found the Collinsville Historical Museum and served for over 50 years on the Collinsville Library Board. In 1998, Dilliard gifted the D.D. Collins House to the city of Collinsville. His mother, Mary Look Dilliard, had lived in the 1830s house for almost 20 years after the Civil War. Dilliard died 4 years later at the age of 97 in 2002. In 1992, Dilliard was asked by the Collinsville Herald about his life and accomplishments and what he'd like to be remembered for. Dilliard said, "I don't believe I try to tell people what to remember me for. Let them make their own decisions. And if they don't want to remember me at all, I can't object to that either."
Well, thank you, Collinsville folks, city folks, and school folks for the first Hall of Fame gathering. I hope there are many, many more in the future. There are far too many other people to thank individually, so it's a collective thanks, but I have to give one personal thanks to Mark Alvers, because he has spent countless hours with many of us, and also his technical and his skills have helped make this evening possible. Yes, my father's life was one of words, written words and spoken words, but his life was far more than writing and words. It included ideas and action, humanity and generosity, and always, always, always be the best citizen you can for your community. I recently found a personal list of his personal traits that he had jotted down in 1963, values that he considered important for a person's life and well-being. He had jotted them down, if any of you knew him, on a canceled 9x4 business envelope on the back, which I have the original. And he carried that around. He received that in the mail in 1963. These values that he wrote down 60 years ago are integrity, scholarship, inclusiveness, lifelong learning, wellness, accountability, participatory decision-making, proactive change, partnership, environmental stewardship, and excellence. Well, yes, his list is 60 years old, and I have it, and I can share the list with any of you tonight who would like a copy. I think many of his choices were rather forwardly thinking for 60 years ago. And tonight's recipients, I believe, share many of these values of my father's that he considered important. They can use them in their own lives, in their own careers, starting with my father's first one, which was integrity, and ending with his last one, which is excellence. In an interview that Marty Richter wrote for the Collinsville Herald when he interviewed my father, Marty once asked my father about his life and career. While my father's words were often simple, they could carry a bit of wisdom with them. And this is a quote from Marty's column of my father's. I've been around the world 2 times all the way. Once all the way east, once all the way west. And I found out it works both ways, either way. I can really hear him saying that tonight, so thank you very much.